It's been a couple weeks.
It has been. It's probably been 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
We were together every week.
Work. That whole work thing interrupted the flow a little bit, but that's okay. We've got many stories.
Many stories.
From our weeks. I was in New Orleans. Then I went to Sarasota, Florida with the Raiders, because the Raiders played the Saints in New Orleans.
Okay.
They didn't want to come all the way back and then go all the way back to Jacksonville, which is where they were playing the following week. So set up shop in Sarasota over at the IMG Academy. We're going to get into that. That's an insane sports factory.
Okay.
In Sarasota, Florida. That's just churning out.
I heard,
crazy.
But I don't know enough about it.
It's a little weird. I mean, you just see all these just. It's like out of a factory, like a sports factory. Wow. I don't know how to feel about it necessarily. We'll get into that. By the way, it's the Vinny and Vic show. Thank you for all your support. Sorry about the little lapse there, but got to pay the bills as well, and work, takes us to all corners of the world. Where were you?
I was working. I'd say about a year before COVID, I connected with some really good people in St. Simon Island, Georgia.
Right.
And
there's a lot of islands in Georgia.
Yes, there is. And it's a nice little island off the coast of Georgia. And there was a brew pub. I'll give them a plug. They're great people. Blake at Barrier Island Brewing, he reached out to me to create his menu and train his culinary staff.
Right.
Create a system. So we did it, and then 5 months later, this beautiful creation gets COVID, and then but not West Coast COVID.
Yeah.
East Coast, Southern COVID, where it's like even harder.
Right.
So time had passed, and he reached out to me, because we stood in contact. Because once you do a project like that with someone, you become really, you bond with them.
There's blood and sweat and tears.
Yes, and success, because now the product's a few years old.
Right.
So he called me back to add to his menu.
Okay, all right.
It was nice to go back to something I felt like was kind of taken away during COVID, because I would have probably been there several times and worked. So he had me back. We added seafood items, brew pub style, to his menu, tested it, tasted it, costed it.
1 second. So when somebody calls you and says, I want to upgrade the menu, all right, do you say to them, or is there like, what are you looking for? What are you thinking? Or is it just, I'm handing it to you, Vic, I'm gonna rely on you, or is there a little bit of both?
It depends on the situation. It goes all three. It's like, one is like, you follow the instructions of who needs what. Some people know exactly what they want, and that's pretty cool.
Okay.
But then you get to get real creative on the other end, where the people are like, just go.
Right.
And then you have the middle, where it's like, I was part of the creation process, so I'm already attached to the restaurant.
Okay.
So when they say make the menu bigger, I pretty much already know what they need.
Right.
And then I suggest it to them. We discuss it. We agree on it. I start creating an ingredient profile. We cost it out. We approve it, agree on it, and then we execute these recipes and plate presentations. We taste it. He has a bunch of people around. If they like it, we keep it. We may have to work on others more. We may throw some out. But those are the things that make it to the menu. And if it can get past the tough people, the consumer that goes in there is going to be like on their tippy toes, just loving it.
How much does the region play into it in terms of ingredients, in terms of flavors, and all of that sort of stuff?
This is funny, and I'm going to send this episode to Blake, because Blake and myself,
Blake. Can't wait to get out
Blake,
there.
Vinny, Blake.
Yep.
Blake already has other restaurants, him and his family, on the island, seafood restaurants. And it's on an island, and it's on a tourist island. And years ago,
people driving around in golf carts.
Oh, all kinds of stuff. It's flip-flop style.
Yeah.
Really kick back though. Great working people that live on the island, and then people from everywhere go to the island.
Yes.
And one thing he didn't want to do when he created this brew pub was put any type of seafood on there, because he didn't want to,
not going to make it easy, or differentiate them.
Right. He's like, there's a brew pub. I said, well, what about a little brew pub seafood? He's like, no, he's like, we're going to leave that alone.
Right.
So this was the fun part. And Blake is so cool about owning it no matter what.
Yeah.
Right or wrong. That's why he calls upon me, because I'm his second set of eyes, And he goes, all right. He goes, guess what? This
Lesson learned?
No, he goes, guess what? Seafood it is.
Okay, all right.
Brew pub style though, but to fit their concept. Like, it's an island where tourists come and, they want to spend a little.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's the South though.
Right.
And there's a seafood place that he already owns. It's like, what do we do different on that menu? So we twisted stuff around.
Right.
Instead of po' boys, we did rich boys with
nice.
battered lobster.
Right. Ooh.
Because it's easily sourced down there and
Right.
it's not as expensive as it is all the way in the desert.
Cost always comes into
So we
effect.
left him with a nice menu with all these items, and over the next few weeks he's going to shape it more. We're going to have
Right.
some calls and then he's going to officially put it on his menu. So I was able to do his opening menu and able to shape his menu for the future and finally add, I'd say we increased the menu by 40%
Wow.
and we added seafood items to his menu.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Is there a bridge that gets to this island, or do you got to float up to the island?
Couple bridges I noticed, so you can drive to the island.
Okay.
It's a drivable island, but it's got its piers and it's got a
Yeah.
lot of bridges, like almost connecting bodies of, like the spaces of the bodies of water between the lands
Like the
and all that.
Keys, like the Florida Keys.
But Georgia style.
Yes, okay.
Southern,
Right.
cool, like Brunswick,
Yes.
area. You land in Jacksonville,
Yeah.
and then you drive an hour to Brunswick, and
Right.
and we're gonna get into like delicious food items, down to earth fast food items that we love that we can't get out here, at least not now.
Regional.
Regional.
The more I travel, the more I realize that. And it's so funny because I'm not a snob. So I'm not like, in California, for instance, In-N-Out is king in terms of the burgers. And I happen to think it's a little overrated.
You think In-N-Out, you're an overrated.
I'm more of a fat burger guy.
I notice East Coast people will call out the In-N-Out overrated.
They will, some will, but some
I need it. I need
exactly.
it. I gotta land and go.
Like, exactly. Okay, so for instance, covering in my sports writing days in Los Angeles, when people from, you have colleagues that work for papers in New York and Chicago, or every time, and following them on Twitter, as soon as they land in LAX, where's In-N-Out? Like, it becomes like this.
That's kind of how we are when we go places, though.
Right.
And we're going to talk about our go-tos
Yes.
when we land.
Oh,
So, as far as the In-N-Out thing, I will give them a few points, though. Nobody does the lettuce-wrapped burger like that.
Yeah, that's
when you
pretty
order
good.
a four-stacker,
Yes.
a 4x4, or however much cheese you want in it, the 4,
right.
protein style,
Yeah.
wrapped in the lettuce, it holds the sauce, it holds
does.
the lettuce tomato. You
It
can
does.
get grilled onions, regular onions,
Right.
and it doesn't fall apart on you.
Right.
So I got to give them just.
Definitely, and I'm not snobby on them.
I
I'm
know.
it's not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
In California, and I don't know if I have to do a little bit of research, but Fat Burger, did it start in California, or because I love Fat Burger. Tommy's?
It's possible. Oh, good old Tommy's, good old
Yeah.
Fat Burger.
Right.
The good old burger joints before the burger phase even came.
Right,
Before
exactly.
Smash Burger, before Five
Smash
Guys.
Burger's pretty good, by the way.
Smash Burger and Five Guys.
Yes.
They're all good.
Right, they are. Now, if you go talking about the regional aspect of it, and some of the not necessarily the snobbery, but the pride, that we're no, Whataburger in Texas, down in that area.
Let me tell you right now. So, and I've learned who competes with who. It's
Right.
like the Whataburger and Sonic.
Sonic. Yes.
Whataburger and Sonic, because they're in the same place a lot.
Right. Yes.
But Whataburger wins every time because
Yeah.
Whataburger is such a unique burger with the way they package their ketchup,
Yeah.
and they have the
Right.
green chilies from New Mexico. It's a really good product. I look forward to it when I go
I
out
may or may not have stopped at a Sonic's in Louisiana when I was in. Because here's the thing, I was gonna, my son's on the big college tour. And Noah, I love you. Got accepted to Ole Miss,
Noah,
Mississippi
Ole Miss.
State, some other colleges. That was one of the things.
DK Metcalf from Old Miss,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So you got superstars where your
Totally.
son is going.
Oxford. Oh my gosh, beautiful. Starkville, you're not too shabby either, at Mississippi State. But so when the Raiders were in New Orleans, I told my son, look, I'm just going to take a ride out to Baton Rouge, check out LSU, and give you a little bit of a take some pictures, whatever. A quarter of the way into the drive, just this monsoon of a storm hit. So I'm like,
The tropical.
yeah, one of those. I'm like, I don't want to drive. So I'm pulling off to head back to New Orleans, and there's a Sonic. So I gotta admit, I stopped at Sonic.
What'd you get?
It was, believe me, a foot long
Coney.
with tater tots.
You did the coney with tots?
I did the
Chili cheese?
No, I went plain.
You went just plain Jane? Not even stirred?
No, just
no
straight
stirred.
plain. I don't even like. This is weird, but I'm a non-condiment guy. Like I don't like
nothing wrong with
condiments. Like I want to know if it tastes good on its own. Why do I need anything now? Granted, I do love chili dogs, all right? But I had a taste for just an old-fashioned coney dog, and I have to say, it's pretty damn good.
I admit, Sonic, here's what I use Sonic for. I'm sorry. I'm not saying I don't like Sonic, but I'm saying I use Sonic. That double green chili cheeseburger at Whataburger. Sonic now carries green chilies to compete with Whataburger. Yeah. So if you get like a plain Sonic burger with just cheese and green chilies, no condiments and sauce all over it.
Right.
Cheese, green chili, meat, bread.
Okay.
Damn, dude.
There you go.
Damn.
The thing about Sonic is it's overwhelming.
It's so good.
You get there and it's just like,
where do I
even start?
What do I want?
Why? Because it does, in its own way, satisfy all palates.
Do you agree? Greatest drink program out of all fast food places?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The happy hour.
Hands down.
Nerds in their slush.
Exactly.
You're going to kiss me and hug me at the same time.
No doubt. So Sonic, shout out to you. I may have gone there in Jacksonville too. I'm not. Although the Jacksonville one kind of disappointing. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Some more of our great visitors here to Las Vegas heading back home.
It's a head back home.
Hopefully they made a little money.
I think so. I think
left a little bit here too.
I don't know. I hear a lot of people are winning in Vegas.
Are they?
Everybody's telling me they're doing good, especially with these football. We'll get into this.
Yes.
These unbelievable, Washington
Commanders. Can you talk? Can we admit right now that we haven't mentioned the Raiders yet, except for the travels. A little bit of a difficult time for the Raiders.
We're gonna get there on our guys, man. It's an unconditional love that we have for our local football team. But in the meantime, Jacksonville, I had Crystal Burger, which is like the alternate of White Castle.
Yeah.
Man, you want to talk about good little sliders in a drive-through window,
right?
Man. Good stuff. I love the junk food fast national Bojangles, White Castle, Whataburger, Waffle freaking House.
Waffle House, yes. Jasmine, my daughter, when we were in Mississippi, she was begging us to stop at a Waffle House. It didn't work out on this trip, but
she knows what's good.
She does.
And you owe her.
I do. And she's never been, so we got
this on tape.
Yes, the Waffle House.
Jasmine will get Waffle House. It's
right.
coming.
Exactly.
I'm with you. All-star. And listen, here's the thing, the secret. If anyone out there likes peanut butter in any way and you go to the Waffle House, people don't realize that Waffle House has Reese's mini peanut butter chips. But what happens is they heat up on the waffle, they don't lose their shape until you run the knife over it and it spreads like it's out of a jar.
Oh.
It's quite euphoric.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I've never done that.
Oh, you need to, bro.
Okay, all right. On the list of things to do.
It. Peanut butter chips.
It's so funny because as we were setting up for the show, we were talking about Publix. Like, little did I know.
Shout out to Publix grocery stores.
Right, exactly. I mean, okay. And shout out to Todd Gurley, by the way. On a previous trip to Jacksonville, I don't know why Jacksonville is the common denominator.
Todd Gurley discussing food with you?
Todd Gurley, not only discussing food, the Rams had to go to Jacksonville to practice for a week. He hates travel. At that time, he just, I like my own bed, I like my own this, I like my own that. However, I'm back where he grew up, in that area, general area.
How long ago was this?
4 years ago.
Okay, so when he was the fastest.
Yes. This was his kind of MVP-ish type season. So what he said was, I'm home, so I get to go. And he started listing off Publix, Cane's, which I hadn't known about Cane's 4 or 5 years ago. Cane's, Zaxby's,
Wawa gas station, go in, Star Wars style, order your stuff, get club sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches.
Crazy.
You don't even talk to anyone, you don't even look at anyone, and then they, number 2073,
Yes.
like I was saying inside, and your sandwich is done in 5 minutes while you're in the gas station, and it is a unbelievable, tasty sandwich from a gas station. Best gas station food, I think, in the U.S.
It's so funny that you mentioned all this because I can only imagine our finance people over the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I cover the Raiders for Las Vegas Review-Journal. Some of my expense, receipts. What? Where are you going right here? Publix. I have some Publix.
So you went in when you were in the South. You went into Publix grocery stores and got their hot food.
Of course.
That everyone talks about.
The wings, the breaded, non-breaded, the hot and what do they call it? Hot and spicy. Very good. Their fried chicken.
When I asked the driver when I landed, my Uber guy, I go, where's the food, bro? I go, where's the dirty goodies at?
Right.
He's like, you're not gonna believe it, the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I go, you talking about Publix? He's like, Publix chicken. I go, Publix chicken. I go, brother, I'll tell you what, I'll buy if you stop the ride. And I bought the Uber driver Publix the chicken tenders.
Oh, the chicken tenders are outstanding.
Some buffalo sauce.
They also do a fantastic sub, which they call the pub sub.
I'm gonna do that next time.
Yeah, I mean, so you wouldn't, and this is Todd Gurley, like this renowned running back with millions upon millions of dollars, yet he still harkens back to his growing up days and saying, "This I don't care about Fleming's," which we love Fleming's and we love all those Fleming's 5-star restaurants, but at the same time, there's a time and place, especially when you're regionally traveling, when you're traveling to go to the regional places. I love it.
Vegas is jamming tonight, brother.
Yes.
For a Thursday night, you got the football game on, you got the Packers and the Titans, you got the band here. This is good stuff, man. Vegas, even on a Thursday night, like rock on, man.
We got guys that are playing golf in the cold, a little chilly.
You got guys playing golf in the cold while the band is rocking, total Vegas style, right? If you live in Vegas and you're going to play golf in the cold, you need a live band behind you, man.
Yes, and a bar and a restaurant and everything like that. We don't just go play
strong.
Golf. Yes,
that comes under the Vegas strong too, man.
No doubt about it.
Wow, entertainment everywhere, always.
Yes. So getting back to the Raiders.
Okay, let's talk about our guys.
Vin,
let's.
Yeah.
Water and apple juice. Right. Cheers.
Obviously, I'm not a fan. I'm a journalist. I cover this team, and it has been one of the weirdest seasons that I've covered. And last year was weird in its own way, with all the tragedy, all the firing of the actually dismissal, let's just say, of the coach. A lot of stuff happened last year.
Right.
This is a weird season in its own right because it's a good team.
They're good, bro.
That can't figure out the most essential thing that you have to figure out in sports, maybe even in life: closing the deal.
But brother, we're in the bottom of the hoax right now. Like we keep moving lower in the hoax where we're going to get spit out the bottom. New York Giants, great example. You just described the New York Giants too, up until now. For how long? I'm telling you, we're 2-3 players away.
Yeah.
And a coaching staff adjustment somewhere in there. Give the head coach more something.
Yes.
Because I believe in our coach.
Yeah.
We're a few recipes. We're a few ingredients away from the winning recipe. I feel that.
Right, and I believe the guys in the locker room feel that. I feel like the owner feels that. And I know a lot of people, and we're in that kind of a society where it's fire him, get rid of him.
That owner knows what he's doing, bro.
Yeah, and it's like
he's kind of smart.
Right, because the whole key to things like that is, okay, let's say you fire the coach. What next? It's always what next is the most important thing. Whether you keep the coach or fire the coach, it's all about what's next and improving the team, making the necessary adjustments like you just said.
The coach that took over last year was awesome.
Bisaccia.
Yeah. Good God.
Yeah.
We need more of him on a higher level, man. That dude.
Yes.
Jumping on the train while it's moving.
Yes, exactly. And just trying to steady it and understanding really what his role was, which was he let the defensive coach the defense, he let the offensive coach the offense. He's like, I'm going to stand over here, make some big decisions, the timeouts, when to go for it or not, and talking to the team, and which is a big part of it as well. But I think my personal opinion, I think they needed more than that, and that's why they went out and got Josh McDaniels and the new general manager Dave Ziegler. to try to get to where they want to get to.
I know, right? Josh McDaniels, God, that's he's trained well.
Yeah,
under the best Jedi Master.
Right. And what's happening right now, the short-term results obviously haven't been there. Nobody's happy about that. Nobody's satisfied with that. Everybody's disappointed. It cuts to their core. But there's a bigger issue. There's a bigger deal that's going on, and they're trying to build something. And I think you will appreciate this. That's sustainable. They don't want to just sneak into the playoffs like they did last year.
Right.
They want to be a perennial, dominant. Doesn't always have to rely on close games or the field goal kicker to kick the game-winning field goal at the end. You're going to obviously have to win some of those games, but it can't always come down to that, which is last year it always came down to that, and they made it.
Right.
This year it's coming down to that, and they're not doing the job. There's too much of a fine line there.
Raiders always had a busy kicker.
Yes.
You know?
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
So it's not happening right now, but I don't think that you focus so much on the short term that you lose sight of the bigger picture. So it's too much of too little of a sample size right now. Even at 2-7, it's not. No one's happy about that. To say, all right, I'm going to make another coaching change and another change the general manager. You can't keep getting caught in that little hurricane right there. You have to give somebody some time to let their plan come to fruition.
2-7.
2-7.
How many more games we got, Vin?
8. Right.
What is the possible outcome? We are 2-7 now, 8 games left. What is the possible outcome? Ending outcome.
Anything from 2-15.
No, you didn't.
To I'm gonna say 8-9. Right? 8-9. 8-9-17.
You're gonna say they're gonna catch their tails towards the end, like they do at times, like car gets like Robotron mode.
Right. And start winning some of the games that they're losing.
When he's back to doing this, and he's a real animated dude. When he starts winning, he gets us all go. We want to do kung fu on the TV.
Right. And but here's the thing: no matter what does happen, I see him. No matter what does happen, it's not going to change what they believe they need to do moving forward. Like, I don't care what the record ends up being. They understand that the defense needs a lot of work. They understand there's changes that need to happen on the offensive line. And there's players that they need to bring in that fit the scheme, that understand the concepts, all that type of stuff. So whatever happens, the flaws, I think, have been identified and will be addressed.
Well, okay, Raiders schedule, like what? Like, I don't even know off the top of my head what the Raiders schedule is.
They got, we go to Denver. It's supposed to be 24 degrees.
In a divisional game, so that can go either way.
Seattle the following week.
Okay.
The Chargers at home. The Rams on the road.
The Giants are on a roll, and one of two of their losses is at Seattle, in Seattle, against
tough
Seattle.
place to play.
It's a
tough team. Great coach.
Can't hear.
Yeah.
Good old Pete.
Right. Love Pete.
I do too. We all do. Pete. At least most of us do.
Yes. No. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are. I remember doing a story on Pete. I worked in Los Angeles prior to coming here, and he had taken the job in Seattle. And I went up to do a story on Pete Carroll as an NFL coach. Remember, he had been at USC for all those years.
Right.
And I went directly to a player by the name of Golden Tate.
Golden Tate, man.
Seattle. Yeah.
We had Golden Tate for a little while. He was on the Lions. He got around Tate, man.
So he's on
Great
Seattle.
Player.
He's on Seattle. And he went to Notre Dame. So his first understanding of Pete Carroll was as the coach at USC. And he says to me, what do you think about playing with Pete Carroll? He's like, I have to say, when I was at Notre Dame, I thought this guy was a phony. Like, there's no way you could be that rah-rah. There's no way that you could be that positive. I used to laugh at him at Notre Dame. That's a big rival of USC.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Because now, playing, that's who he is. And he goes, I got to respect that. Like, if that's who you are, be who you are. Don't be a phony, and that's not a phony. So I'm thinking he's a phony, but in reality, that's who he is. So good for Pete Carroll. It's not happening right now for the Raiders. It's disappointing.
I know, because that's our local team, man.
Right.
And we remember when we were told we weren't going to have a team. Now they're here. We want to see them do good no matter what. And we feel it when they don't, because whether we look or we don't, or we close our eyes, we live here, we see it on the news, we hear about it, you see the players, you talk to them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I wish them the best. I want them to do better.
Well, and the one thing about having a team in your city now, you got to ride it's a wave. It's a roller coaster ride.
Right, like KC. How long? Remember KC?
Oh.
Their stadium looked like missing teeth in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mahomes, second year in?
Next thing, they can't lose.
You can't lose.
That's where the Raiders kind of want to get.
That's how it happens.
Yeah, and you catch fire. I remember when I was a kid, I hated the Cowboys. I was a Minnesota Vikings fan. I hated the Cowboys because Cowboys always had their Vikings number. So this guy by the name of Joe Montana, San Francisco 49ers, playing the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. And I'm going, anybody but the Cowboys. Little did I know, the turn, what turned on a dime for the 49ers when they beat the Cowboys in that game with the catch they call it. And all of a sudden it was the Niners that just went on a roll. So you never know where it's going to turn.
Right.
So, and I would imagine at some point that's going to happen for the Raiders here.
All right, man, I hope so. Well, I mean, this is still brand new.
Yeah, it is.
They're just getting started.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know the deal. I'm still going to stick with, there are a few ingredients away from the winning recipe.
There you go. Yeah, I actually agree with that. And I don't know what those ingredients are. They got
It's not a QB. You got a good QB.
Okay.
You get a good, young QB under Carr. Wow, in a few years.
What would the QB equate to from a ingredient perspective? What is that? That's like the...
QB? Wow, that's the roux that holds the whole soup together. Or it's like the center of the plate, the protein, man.
There you go. All right.
QB holds it together, man.
It does. Speaking of soup, I'm going to have a bowl of soup at some point today.
I bet you are.
It's getting a little cold.
Yeah, no, it's Vegas cool.
Vegas cool.
Right? December is right around the corner. Thanksgiving is coming up soon.
Ooh, what's on the menu?
Brother, we do classic, but I do have people in my family that'll get that turkey out of here. I want to see red meat, so I'm gonna roast off a prime rib too,
that.
but with the classic sides.
All right.
If you do the prime rib with the classic sides, bro, wow.
Your dressing, stuffing, whatever it is that you want to call it.
It's holy. It comes from the hands of grandma. It's made
Thanks,
with
me
half
too.
Italian bread, half regular stale white bread, broken with the hands, a little egg, Parmesan cheese, garlic. No meat. No meat.
Oh.
It's a meatless stuffing.
Wow.
I know, but you know what? She makes like a patty out of it, fries it, and breaks it up.
Tremendous.
So it's like the crust from the patty almost tastes like liver or sausage.
Okay,
So
all right.
it tastes like there's meat in there, but it's not, and it's so damn good.
Okay, I'm getting hungry just listening to that.
I love Thanksgiving.
I do the sausage.
I love sausage stuffing though too. I just when I go to other people's houses and I get their Thanksgiving and I get some cool sausage stuffing.
Right.
Oh man, I'm in my glory with sage and oh man.
Yes, my daughter's doing the macaroni and cheese. She's ordered me out of the kitchen on that. I'm trying to get a grasp of what direction she's headed, and she's given me a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I think I'm going to have to truly find out on Thursday. I love Thanksgiving.
I do, brother. I love Thanksgiving. I'd say pre-Thanksgiving to January 2nd.
Oh.
That is my favorite time of the year. Brother, especially if you experienced East Coast earlier in your life, brother. It was so holiday in the East in the 80s and 70s, bro.
My goodness. I love it. I love the spirit in the air.
Sick.
Yeah.
They decorate the street.
Right. Like Frank Sinatra said, it's that time of year when the world falls in love. I'm singing it poorly, sorry to Frank. But that's the opening line of that song.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, the whole world falls in love, and I love it. I wish we could bottle that up.
Oh, food time. It's food time.
Yes.
It's time to eat. It's time to feed others. It's November is the hungriest month in the world.
Wow.
So, so many chefs out there and so many people get down, whether it's a soup kitchen or something they make from their restaurant or whatever it is, and people get fed.
Yes.
People get fed. The chefs I know go right for the, all right.
Let's team it up and let's get the
They
food
do
out
their
there.
due diligence,
Yeah,
and then everybody is like, it's about the toys now and Christmas. Like we fed everyone in November. Now we got to make sure everyone has a Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever holiday, you know, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. It's all about making sure no one goes without that.
Yes, exactly. And for us, raviolis on Christmas.
Yeah.
Raviolis. Grandma Marge, I love you. And every other, my grandma Josephine, thank you too. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to
raviolis on Christmas.
Yes.
Lasagna on Thanksgiving and baked ziti on Easter.
Yes. Love baked ziti. I love baked ziti. All right, so thank you for joining our entertaining and great food ride. And I'm starving right now, by the way. If you do get out to the south, Publix, please try to find a Wawa, Whataburger.
A lot of W's. Waffle House, Whataburger, Wawa.
Yes, exactly.
I'm telling you,
Crystal.
Go into the Wawa gas station knowing like just
don't be afraid that it's a gas station.
Don't be afraid.
Or a grocery store at Publix.
Yes.
They hook you up.
It's crazy how good that stuff is.
Yes, exactly. Love you, brother.
Love you, man.